Hello, I'm Majda Belgar and I'm a consultant at Tijari. Today's industry briefing is all about discovering opportunities through spend analysis. During today's session, we're going to demonstrate some techniques to quickly and easily identify opportunities for savings using spend analysis. We will also touch on quantifying the opportunities, how to prioritize the opportunities, and how to approach planning the delivery of those savings. The situation is, having made savings year on year for the past 5 years, you are again expected to drive down the cost of procurement in the coming year. You have more procurement data than you know what to do with. Some of it is good quality, some of it is bad. So, the challenge. You have a category strategy to write. You need to plan how you're going to make those all important savings. How do you honor the opportunities to make savings without spending months trawling through report after report? I don't have time to analyze the data. It's a common perception. We will demonstrate today that spend analysis need not be time-consuming by following some basic rules and some simple techniques. The techniques we will examine: supplier fragmentation. Managing large numbers of suppliers is costly. We will show you how to spot the opportunities to consolidate your supplier base. Contract and purchase order compliance. You have put in the hard work to set up the contracts. Now you need to get stakeholders using them. Invoice rationalization. Invoices cost money to process. We will show you how to identify areas to reduce the number of invoices received. Catalogs. If you are tied down with hundreds of non-catalog requisitions, could you set up catalogs to process the standard requests? We will look in more detail at the possibilities. Line level analysis. Could you benchmark your spend to achieve savings? We will also look at the impact of geography. For example, are you paying different rates in different parts of the country? Or are different business units achieving better prices? And finally, we will look at opportunities to auction. Auctions are great for demonstrating clear savings. There are many ways to auction for goods and services. We will look at how spend analysis can help you spot the opportunities. So, I have a big block of spend data. Where do I start? Firstly, break it down and focus on the spend category by category, starting with biggest and working your way down. It sounds obvious, but it's surprising how many people get tied down with the where to start question. For this industry briefing, we have chosen a category common to most: facilities management. It's important to recognize from the outset that none of the techniques we're going to look at today are exclusive to facilities management. We have used it as an example to provide you with some context. Focusing in on facilities management, there are a number of facets within facilities management. It's typically at this level where opportunities start to materialize. I will just take a moment to explain what we're looking at here. On the vertical axis, we have each of the components of facilities management listed. On each bar, green is the percentage of spend with top 10 suppliers in that category. Amber is the percentage of spend with next 10 suppliers. Red is the remainder. So, what are we looking for? We're looking for high percentage spend with suppliers outside of the top 10, 20 suppliers, i.e. the big blocks of red. As you can see, the buildings maintenance services category has over 30% spend with suppliers outside of the top 20 for that category. Therefore, opportunity 1 is a supplier consolidation exercise in the building maintenance services category. Remember, there's nothing here that is unique to FM. You can do this for any category. So how does the purchase order compliance look for the category as a whole? Generally, it's pretty good, but is there anything else hidden in the detail? How can we quickly identify any weak spots? Let's go a bit deeper. Here we have a graphic of on-off purchase order spent for each of the categories in facilities management. The overall view of FM looked healthy, but at the next level there are some opportunities. Again, we're looking for big areas of red indicating high levels of spend without a matching purchase order. Security equipment is over 90% of PO spend. Is there an opportunity for contracting activity in this area? Therefore, opportunity 2 is reducing spend without a purchase order. Again, this is not a category-specific analysis, though it is worth noting that some categories don't lend themselves to purchase orders, particularly those where the invoice value is not known ahead of the invoice arriving. A good example is utilities, such as mains, gas and electricity. So one does have to apply some logic to the thought process. The next view is very similar to the purchase orders, but this time it's spent against a contract. Here we're looking to see which business units are non-compliant. Following the theme of the previous slides, the red is indicating off-contract spend, green is on contract. In this example, the Faisalabad business unit has very low contract compliance. 95% of facilities management spend for Faisalabad is not linked to a contract. How do we handle this? There are few key questions to ask. Do the department know about your contracts? Is the non-compliance genuine or as a result of a training need? If it's real non-compliance, what could it be telling you? Poor supplier performance in a particular area? A contract not fulfilling the needs of a stakeholder? At worst, could it highlight deliberate maverick spend? Whatever the cost, there is an opportunity. Therefore, opportunity 3 is reducing off-contract spend. Next, we're going to look at the relationship between the value of spend and the number of invoices that make up that spend. Invoices cost organizations money to process. In the analysis here, we're overlaying the spend by category with the invoice account. Whilst this is a deliberately extreme example, it demonstrates the trend that you're looking for: low spend with a high invoice account. So, opportunity number 4 is reducing invoices in the electrical components and cleaning consumables. You should consolidate invoices, which runs the risk of losing the rich, detailed information. Or, you should consider the use of electronic catalogs in conjunction with a consolidated or electronic invoice. Why? Number 1, it's a reduced cost to procurement in not having to manually process each purchase requisition. Number 2, it's faster for your stakeholder. Requisitions from catalogs can be automatically approved, freeing up your time. Number 3, consistent naming of products enabling richer, more detailed spend analysis in the future. Number 4, it makes benchmarking and product price tracking far easier. Therefore, opportunity 5 is setting up electronic catalogs for a reduced procurement process cost. This brings us neatly onto line-level analysis. Typically, this is done at the deepest level of the category taxonomy. Here we're examining a sample security gardening rates. By evaluating the expenditure against a common unit of measure, in this case an hourly rate, we're able to see that there are a variety of unit rates paid for what is fundamentally the same service. By taking the quantity of that unit measure across the sample and multiplying it by the lowest rate achieved, one is able to see that a saving of 10,000 rupees or 6% is potentially possible. Therefore, opportunity number 6 is benchmarking prices using line level analysis. Geography may have an impact on the prices achieved for a given product or service. So it's important to understand these trends, particularly when setting lots for a nationwide service. There are two main ways to approach this. Number one, your geography, how your spend is spread across your branches and offices. Or number two, your supplier's geography, the distribution of your suppliers. In this example, we're examining the distribution of hourly rates for security guards. The location of each spot is the location of the supplier. The color of the spot indicates the hourly rates achieved, red being high price, green being a comparatively low price. The size of the spot indicates the expenditure in any given location. The larger the spot, the greater the demand. You can use this information to quickly and easily split regions by cost and demand, perhaps grouping regions with low demand together to increase supplier interest. Opportunity number 7 is therefore using a geographical analysis to identify price variations by region. Next, we're going to look at opportunities to auction. By understanding where the big areas of spend are in facilities management, you can target your auctions in those areas. For example, you may wish to consider splitting labor from parts and run separate auctions for each. Some examples: hardware, for example, electrical and cleaning consumables; security services, the hour rates that we have just examined; PAT testing, labor rates for various types of maintenance in different areas. One thing to consider here is grouping similar lots to make the lots more attractive to bidders. Therefore, opportunity number 8 is identifying the areas ripe for auction. So, to recap, today we have looked at supplier consolidation, reducing off-PO spend, improving contract compliance, reducing invoices, using electronic catalogs, line item benchmarking, geographical benchmarking, and auction opportunities. Whilst we have chosen facilities management as the example category, these techniques can be used for any category. You may, for example, wish to set up a checklist containing this list of techniques to introduce a level of consistency to your approach. For example, if dealing with a large number of categories and therefore category managers, this will help from the big picture. So you have got a list of opportunities. What's next? The first step is to bring them all together as an opportunity assessment for the category. Next, you need to quantify the opportunities. Then, prioritize the opportunities before finally formulating a delivery plan. How do I estimate the opportunity? It depends. Some are clear-cut, particularly in price benchmarking. You can come up with a number or a percentage as we did earlier. Others are less easy to define. How do you know, for example, whether supplier consolidation will save you anything, and if so, how much? There is no one answer to this, but a simple and pragmatic way to approach this is to say the bigger the spend, the bigger the possible saving. So you can use the size of the spend to prioritize your efforts. And of course, use your experience. What have previous consolidation exercises achieved in, say, percentage terms? Another good tip is to have an upper and lower estimate for the saving and perhaps a level of confidence around whether you're able to achieve them. It all helps to prioritize your approach. Don't get too tied down with this. It's critical to spend more time making savings than planning them. So, taking the prioritization a step further. In this grid, we have split the opportunities into 4 distinct areas. Quick win, large savings, it's the obvious first choice. Easy to achieve and big savings. For the next two, it's less clear where the opportunity is. It's basically a split between tactical versus strategic. Quick win, small savings is a tactical approach. Complex input, large savings is a strategic approach. The key questions here: is there an appetite for strategic change, and what are your key stakeholders like? If there's an appetite for strategic change, prioritize the strategic savings. If there isn't, prioritize the tactical savings. One final consideration is whether the spend is tied into existing arrangements and can these be changed. So, some final thoughts. We have, through simple analysis, discovered 8 different opportunities through spend analysis. The key takeaways here are: number 1, identify your opportunities through spend analysis. Number 2, quantify your opportunities. Number 3, prioritize your opportunities based on effort versus outcome. And number 4, plan your execution. And it sounds obvious, but make sure you implement the plan. Thank you very much for listening.